All right, we just went live. Let me find the link really quick, and then I'll tweet it, and I can like send it to you, or you can just check Twitter. I'm live with. Good call. All right, we'll give people a few minutes to come in here. So how about ETH BTC? That thing's a piece of crap.
Oh my god, dude! I got dicked pretty good. I think I posted a chart being like, "This looks good," and it's down like 8% today. I mean, that's what happens, right?
Bitcoin, but I mean, didn't you post like a 3-day? No, it was like a daily chart or something.
It's gonna go up, but I mean, I really want the weekly to not close shitty.
Yeah. Dude, the weekly was looking good yesterday. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it will be fine. I'm gonna post this in all sorts of Discords here. Let's see.
Oh yeah. I gotta post it in one too.
So many Discords.
What's up, everybody? Who's here already? Got like 68 people, I think. We'll give people a few more minutes to get in. Maine, I got a reply to my tweet. Says, yes, you trading gods, please do tell me why ETH is being such a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't, maybe we're just not ready. You know, maybe Bitcoin's got another leg still, and then we'll see. What's up, guys? What's up, Cody? Valento, what's up? Optimus, Speedwagon, MoMA says my neck, my back, my bleep, and my crack.
This is the neck and lemon stream.
Yeah, man. I got like reply guys who all they do now is just post my fucking that picture of me.
The flexing
like,
picture?
Yeah, or like comments about my neck. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I love you, Optimus. What's up, Gideon?
D Speedwagon, first time here. Welcome, bro. Maine is a legend. What's up, Hugo, Optimus, Craig, Mo Ma? My neck, my... Oh, he's who said
Your
that.
Your setups brought me some nice money, bro. I'm glad. Feel free to tip me. Your boy's trying to retire.
Oh, man. Yeah. Seriously. Hey, in case anyone doesn't know, BNB is up 70% today. Oh. Is that not just the most... Is that not just the most insane thing ever? Like yesterday, it hit 200.
Yeah, that hurts. I had BNB at like $40.
I remember being like balls deep leverage long in BNB in like the low 30s or something, and then it just dumps and stops me out of everything, and I'm like, I'm never trading BNB again. I didn't actually say that, but I don't know if I've traded it since. I took a scalp on it today, but I can talk about that later.
I don't trust CZ at all.
I know. He's a bit sketch.
Yo, what's up, Polish guy living in the UK? Radoslav Borysmowski. I think I pronounced that perfectly. I'm not going to lie. What's up, Dennis?
Borzymovski. I bet that's how it is.
Borzymovski. That doesn't have a Michael Saylor. This is true. It's got Vitalik. Did someone say hello? What's up, bro?
What's up, Levels?
No hard feelings, neck. Thanks, bro. It's Levels, bro.
Levels. Is it?
Anyone else seen? Yeah, it's Levels. Anyone else seen Elon's profile pic? Yes, we did.
He said he'd leave it up there.
He wants to know if we're going to trade. Optimus says, am I retired yet? Says, bro, we're in the middle of the bull run. No one's retired.
No.
Massive legend, says Tyler. Optimus says he wants to send me some LTC. That's
Okay.
very nice of you.
Send the man some Litecoin.
I will take Litecoin. I accept all coins. Something sketchy going on with BNB. I kind of agree. Like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of BNB bag holders real soon.
I do too. So if this could
But
just hit the range high really quick so I can get out of my day trade,
you
that'd be
basically,
great.
with a trade like this, you guys got to take profits on the way up, especially if you've made a bunch of fucking money. And you need to trail your stops. I know it's kind of hard when price is going absolutely vertical, right? But this will not end well. This will retrace half of this pump at least at some point.
Yeah. And I mean, dude, if you look at the 4 hour, like you have to be trailing your stop on like a 15-minute chart because there's just no higher low on this until like 125,
Yeah.
which is 60% of the way down. Anyway, all right. I think we gave people a few minutes to get in here. So, I guess I'll talk about like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and then Maine can give his opinion on those, and then we could just talk about any other coins or whatever the heck the chat wants to talk about. I'm pretty flexible. What do you think, Maine?
Sounds good to me. I'm just reading all these neck puns that are. This guy says I'm good at Connect 4. That's a first. I've got you beat diagonally. Neon Milo's Xyloto. Yes, I am the neck guy.
It's just
That
the
is
neck
me.
guy and the lemon guy. Okay.
I just hit 100K followers, guys. Let's fucking go.
Congratulations. I'm well, actually, mine says you were 5 away.
What the fuck?
Dang, I just showed everyone I have notifications on for you.
She.
I'm gonna be your 100,000th, and then we'll.
Oh, so Twitter says I have 999,998.
I did it.
But this thing's saying I've got over 100. That's
Yeah.
insane.
No, on mine
What
it's.
a weird thing.
Dude, you just hit 100K followers on stream. 10K of them must be real. Big dub.
He just unfollows and follows me back. Can I get a W in the chat, lads? Here, I'll make the boy. Oh, I can't make people.
I made both of them. I just made Cred and SZ mods. Okay, let's get started before people
Cred is
get.
talking shit. Cred, I'm gonna hit you with the mud wall jutsu if you don't wash your mouth.
We gotta start before everyone gets bored and leaves because we're just talking about followers and necks. Okay. For those of you that were here yesterday, we were streaming yesterday as well. Bitcoin was in this range. I was looking for it to take out this low into this kind of SR level. It was the first high that we swept and then retested again and then broke through. So I was looking for this. Didn't quite get it, which is a little bit of a bummer because it has gone straight vertical since then, like 10%. I was able to enter a little bit on the flip of the range high after we swept this low, but it would have been a little more ideal to get a full position down here, but that's okay. Going forward, I mean, it's a little hard to pick targets these days because we are trading at all-time highs. I know people use extensions for some stuff, but I mostly will be trailing my stop up, and I think psychological levels do work pretty well when we are trending like this. So Bitcoin's looking good. We did kind of have a tough hourly close. I think any pullback is obviously for buying, though. We were in this little upward accumulation zone for, let's see, like almost 9 days. Broke out of it, ranged a little bit for like a day or two, and now we're breaking out of that again. So I do think pullbacks are absolutely for buying. This daily candle looks great. That tells me that we are breaking out of this range that we were in for a day. We had this one inside bar, I guess you can call it, and then breaking out from there. I think if this did retest the range high tomorrow or something, as long as the daily close doesn't as long as it doesn't nuke and just close the daily candle with a huge upper wick, I think anything around the 53K to 53.5, this kind of region here, would be a good level to look for some more longs. If we don't get that, you kind of just have to look for some continuation plays. Maybe we form another range kind of like this. If we stall for a bit, and then I would just be looking for a breakout above the high or sweeps to the low, and that's kind of how I try and get back on board in a ranging environment. But yeah, so if we get a good daily close, I mean, even if we don't, I would probably still look to buy around this 53K area and probably chuck a stop down here just to be safe. I think this would be a little tight, and I don't think anywhere in between that makes sense. But a pullback could be good, a pullback or a bit of ranging just to get cooled off a little bit. But good to see Bitcoin with a 7%, a $3,500 day, which is pretty crazy because back in the day, we didn't always used to see that. Ethereum has absolutely been lagging. I did go long today on the flip of this resistance, but I kind of expected it to continue to break out from there, and it's pretty much just been ranging. We're just putting in some lower highs and higher lows. So hopefully if this comes to a little apex here and then pushes up, that would be good to see. ETH BTC just doesn't look great. We hit this weekly SR from the downside
Watch
again.
Your tone.
What was that?
Watch your tone. I said watch your tone. Be nice to her.
Sorry. Yeah,
We need to encourage her to go up.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk crap about her anymore. We're just going to be nice to try and get her to go up.
We're just going to pray.
Yeah,
Prayer is more important and more powerful than TA itself.
This dotted level was this high right here. This gray zone, I'm kind of looking for a possible bounce, but it might not make it all the way there. I hope it doesn't. I think it's possible that we just put the low in there, but I'm nowhere near comfortable saying that. I won't be comfortable saying the low is in until we're back above this weekly SR. So if this just wants to V reverse and then get back above, I would be thrilled, and I would up the Ethereum exposure because that would be a super bullish sign. But for now, I think we kind of need to be patient. I'm still taking ETH USD longs when the setup presents itself, but I'm just not super, I don't expect it to outperform Bitcoin right now. And I won't be confident in that until it gets above here. I really would like that to happen this week. Because this weekly chart, if we had a dip down to here and the weekly candle closes green or just with a long lower wick, I'd be a little more confident going lower. A little more confident that we're going higher, but this is the key level right there that we're watching, and whenever we do end up getting back above that, I think Ethereum will really get going to this 0.054 level and 0.07. So those are kind of the high time frame targets in mind, and when the USD pair is in price discovery, you can use the Bitcoin pair to take profit. For instance, if this just starts ripping and hits this level, I don't know what ETH USD is going to be at. It depends what BTC USD is at, but you can use that a little bit to help take profit on alt USD pairs. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this. Hopefully it does something for us. I really thought it was going to bounce from here for a sec. Well, I hoped it would. We got a really nice initial reaction, and then it kind of nuked. But this is not ideal. It's not the most. Go ahead.
I don't think it's the end of the world.
I agree.
I mean, to me, just looking at the chart you have open right now, that's an uptrend, right, on the weekly.
Yes.
So that's broken, market structure on the weekly, and it's in the process of putting in a higher low. The problem is when you're working with the weekly chart, the the percentages and the numbers are quite big in terms of, the difference between putting in the higher low at, the 0.5 on the fib versus the 0.79 can be 15%. So very dangerous game to be playing Ethereum BTC with leverage, for example, like if you're still on BitMEX. So if you pull a fib from that low to that high, on the weekly there, if I had to venture a guess without doing it myself, I would assume right now we're bouncing around the 0.382. And we can come down lower, right? We kind of have like a weekly breaker there that you can see, those two green candles.
We're just about at the 0.5. Log makes it a little distorted. I'm sorry, that fib tool looks so ugly, but I just applied defaults really quick. But no, I think it's definitely an uptrend. We've definitely broken out from this whole accumulation zone down here, if that's what you want to call it. It's just a matter of when we're going to put in that higher low or where that's going to be exactly. But no matter where it is, once we get back above this weekly SR, in my opinion, I think you're going to want some of your portfolio in Ethereum.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think, Ethereum has done really well since March. In terms of BTC or in terms of USD value, it's outperformed Bitcoin, right? It's timing
it's been great.
Yeah, you have to use these charts. This is something I talked about extensively in my last video, and it's like amazing to me because I believe it's a relatively simple concept. Is understanding the Ethereum Bitcoin chart and the importance of that with relation to when you should be in and out of the Ethereum USD pair versus just being in Bitcoin itself. But a lot of people I don't think still understand that, and then they're in Link and they're going, well, why is Link not performing as well as other altcoins as well as Bitcoin? It's like, well, that's because the Link BTC chart looks like shit. Right. So another thing you can also use these BTC charts for, guys, is profit taking. When you're in price discovery, right? Like Kaz was saying earlier, it's hard to know where to take profits. You can use fib extensions, etc. You can also use the BTC chart. Litecoin BTC, Ethereum BTC, a lot of these charts have not gone into price discovery versus Bitcoin, only versus the USD pairs, not even Litecoin yet. So when the Ethereum BTC chart is into resistance, that can be a time for you to take profit on Ethereum USD longs.
Yep, 100%. And just looking at it a little more from the daily, I think this level between 0.033 and 0.029, that kind of consolidation there, which also kind of acted as the floor over here, give or take. This, I don't know how I would pinpoint it in one exact level, but you can kind of see it was support here, broke through, resistance again, and then we consolidated there before pushing higher. And like Mayne was saying, if you pull some fibs from the bottom to the top there, I know it's really hard for you guys to see because, well, actually I could change that really quick. There you go. The 0.62 to 0.7 is like right here in that area too. So if we're unable to hold right here at the 0.035, then I like this consolidation as a really nice spot for Ethereum to bounce from. And honestly, I would probably start looking to play more Ethereum once we get there, just because I think it really should bounce there. If it bounces here, great. Like, that looks pretty bullish. I think you could start building a position when it gets to 0.033 or 0.032, but ultimately, like I've been saying, the confirmation for me will be when we get back above that 0.037. So that's pretty much Ethereum. I'm going to pull Mayne's screen over in a sec. I don't know if, or I guess I can talk about Litecoin first, and then I'll pull yours. Litecoin looks pretty solid. It didn't take as much of a hit as Bitcoin today. Still really bullish on Litecoin. Laid out some targets in the stream yesterday, but essentially 250 and 305 are the two closer targets that I'm looking for, and that is this weekly supply right here. We wicked pretty much right in the middle of it, and I think you'll be wanting to pay attention or take some profit around there, and that's right around that 250. And then this high right here from January, I guess that's the high of that whole year of 2018, is right at 304. So I marked those on this chart, but Litecoin's looking good. The BTC pair is still a little messy, but it just has so much more catching up to do than Ethereum, and so I think the USD pair could see some crazy percent gains because, I mean, 240 to 305 is what, like 30%, still pretty solid. So low time frame, this is kind of the level I want to see hold. And 225 held really well yesterday, and we kind of had this sweep into Monday's high and pushed from there. But structure is bullish. It looks pretty good, but I wouldn't necessarily long right here. If it pulls back, I think you could. But then the next play I'd be looking for is a flip of that 250 to make sure we're not sweeping that on the weekly time frame, and then play it between 250 and 300 will kind of be the next leg that I'm looking for. TraderMayne.
Trader Tristan says that FBTC needs to test 0.0322.
Let's give it a look. 322. Yeah, that's a pretty nice level. I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to. I didn't pick an exact level when I was talking about that, but that was the initial resistance there, then support for a while. Couldn't get above it here, and it's within that consolidation, which is probably like 3-day demand, I guess you could say. But yeah, I could definitely see that. All right, man, you want to share your screen? I think it stopped sharing.
Sure, 1 sec here.
I got to catch up with the chat.
Let me know if that's sharing now.
Yeah, let me just do the little pop-up. There we go.
All right, so I've got relatively similar thoughts. I'll cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin here very quickly, and then if you guys want to see some other coins, I already put someone in timeout. He's like, "You're boring, focusing on the wrong coins." So I told him, "Well, enjoy timeout, bro. Go sit in the corner." So my kind of thesis for a while on where the bottom might be on ETH was here. This kind of weekly pivot, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Lots of interactions with this level, obviously, as you can see. So relevant level. And then, rejected here. And then this was kind of an SR flip that I wanted to see. And I think I wasn't the only one watching this. A lot of people were looking at the same area. And then to me, the natural target is going to be up into, this previous price floor here, right around 0.055. So that's kind of what I'm looking for still. We'll see where this weekly closes. Like if the weekly is able to kind of close back above, 0.03650, and this is just a wick, great. But if not, I'm going to look lower. I mean, to me, this is still a very bullish chart. You look at it on the monthly time frame, this is bullish market structure. You could argue, oh, it's a big SFP here. Sure, fuck you is what I would say. To me, this is bullish, right? We've got a low, we've got a high, we've got a lower low, and a higher high here. That's what I'm focused on the monthly, and we've also got a really nice monthly kind of SR flip in the making here. Right, so we're through this level. It looks like we're holding, but again, this is the monthly chart, so you have to be aware that this box itself is 12%. So you don't want to just bid here and hope it doesn't go any lower. But this is something to watch when you're looking at a monthly close. Where do we close relative to this potential SR flip or this level? Right. Another area on the monthly of interest, potentially this would be kind of, a more bearish scenario, but it's coming all the way back into this monthly order block here. And then seeing continued, kind of movement to the upside. This scenario here, in my opinion, would be Bitcoin going like this and the BTC dominance chart going like this, and this would really hurt a lot of alts. Bitcoin is up about 10K in the last little bit, and alts for the most part are generally actually doing okay. Some alts got smacked a little bit, but better than expected. I thought we were going to see a lot more blood based on how strong Bitcoin's been. It's up 7% today. Some alts are in the green, some are in the red, but overall not as terrible as I thought. So we'll see. Zooming in a little bit more, if you go to the 3-day chart, this is an area that I really like as a potential bottoming area for this pair here would be right here. So if you pull your fib here from there to there, this lines up right around with the 0.62. I think that lines up. What was Trader Tristan's level there? He said
0.322.
0.322
or 0.322. Yeah, that's right in there.
3, so it's right in this same zone here.
That is a nice zone. A lot of confluence there.
This is an area where I could see us potentially bottoming. Again, this is not the type of thing that I'm trading on margin. This is the type of thing where I'm saying, okay, look, this is a nice little pivot here. It all lines up. I'm saying, okay, if I can see bullish price action starting to form in here and then us move out of this zone, that's a sign to me to rotate, Bitcoin into Ethereum or start hunting more aggressively for longs on Ethereum USD, right? So you look at Ethereum USD today, it's up, right? Like Ethereum USD is up. We're almost at 2K. Everyone wants it to go to 2K. I mean, I guess it hit 2K on FTX. But everyone wants this thing to fucking go up. Well, Bitcoin is up 7%. Litecoin is up 5%. Why is Ethereum only up 1%? And the answer is in this chart right here, right? So until this thing puts in a low and starts moving back up, there's no reason to be, in Ethereum USD longs unless you got in from much lower relative to being in a Bitcoin long, a Litecoin long, or a long on any of these altcoins where the BTC pair looks bullish. BNB looks crazy. What do you think the BNB BTC pair looks like? It looks fucking crazy, right? So this is why this thing is outperforming. Man, I wish I would have bought that little squiggly line I drew. That would have been sweet.
That aged well.
Let's see, what's another coin that seems to be doing well today? Link up 6% today. You look at Link BTC. Doesn't actually look that good. That's surprising to me. Let's see if we can find dot BTC. Right? This looks much more bullish right now than Ethereum BTC, right? I think this is on the weekly. We've got a very clear SR flip here, right? On the weekly chart, and we're breaking out. Dot is now up 10% today. Ethereum's getting dicked. Ethereum is getting dicked in the USD pair because this thing is getting dicked. So to me, this is kind of its last, area where I want to see it bounce. Otherwise, I'm targeting this lower area here. So I wouldn't worry about this until the weekly close. Like it's Friday. We've got 2 more days. See where the weekly closes relative to this pivot here. And then I'll make my decision. If we close below here, the next area that I'm interested in Ethereum is when FBTC gets to this zone here, right? And this zone is relevant to me because this is the buying, right? That formed this low that then led to this rally. So you could call that a breaker. You could call that, like reclaimed demand, call it whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter, right? We took out this low and that occurred from this block here. Block, zone, whatever you want to call it. So this should, in theory, have a reaction when price gets there. But it's just in theory. We don't know if it's going to work every time. But this is where I'd be getting interested if we close the weekly bearish. Right?
Does that line up with that 0.0322 as well?
Yeah,
I think
if you go down to
it looks like it.
Bang in the middle, right? So added confluence, right? There's your weekly level that I want to see us close above. Essentially right here. I want to see us close above this on the weekly. If we fail, look, I'm going to mark out a line here. I'll use an arrow or an actual line instead of the block there. So you see that line there. If I go down to the 3-day, that lines up perfectly with that order block that I had mentioned on the 3-day, right? So this is my next area here. assuming we close the weekly bearish, which it looks like we're going to do. Like, unless something crazy happens, like I have a feeling that if Bitcoin pulls back to, 52 or 53K or something like that, this is not going to pump. I have a feeling that this is going to just drop further, but we'll see. Right now, the BTC dominance is quite at an interesting place. Everyone's like, oh, TA on the BTC dominance chart doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, well, every time I do TA on it, it seems to work. So I'm just going to continue to do it. I don't really care. I marked this out. I posted this on Twitter a while ago. We had this kind of level capping price once, twice, and then I posted it in January initially. We rejected. We came and retested this trend line that's formed, and we've got a little bit of demand here, and you can see price is now starting to round off. So what is the path for Bitcoin to 60, 70, 80K? It's like this, right? If this happens, I don't think you want to be in any altcoins. Like, this is multiple attempts at the same zone. I think if we come up here again, you don't want to be in an altcoin because this thing is going to break, right? This is your reverse bouncy ball meme, right? You remember the 6K floor on Bitcoin, right? Where each bounce was getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and then it eventually gave out, right? This is that in reverse, right? So we have a test of resistance, huge rejection, right? Next rejection, slightly less, next rejection, slightly less, right? What is this? Big ascending triangle. So if this thing does break to the upside, I think you want to be very careful being in altcoins. You want to be mostly exposed to Bitcoin at that point. And that would be what I believe is the catalyst for Bitcoin, another leg much higher. The best situation, I think, for altcoins is for this to fail and not even come up and test this area, or if it does, just barely, and then break down. This is where alt season happens, right? Alt season does not happen, while this thing is in an uptrend. Like alt season here, right? After Bitcoin topped, we had a little bit of an alt season, right? Alts are getting crushed here. Alts are getting crushed here. So I'm not trying to, tell you what to do with your spot bags or anything like that, but this is a perfect example of, what the alt BTC chart is, right? FBTC, it's a terrible drawing, but FBTC, right, is a fraction of Bitcoin versus Ethereum, right? The dominance, right, is the denominator. So if the denominator is very strong, right, this fraction as a whole, right, if this is strong, will actually go down. So that's what this chart represents for Bitcoin relative to all alts. And so you need to be doing this type of cross-market analysis if you're playing alt USD pairs. Like, if you're just playing the alt BTC chart, great. Like, if you're trading your altcoin for BTC and back, that's all you need. But if you are playing the alt USD pair, you absolutely need to pay attention to this chart, and you absolutely need to pay attention to the altcoin BTC chart to know if you are in the correct position that is going to outperform the market. And by the market, I mean Bitcoin, right? Right now, the best thing you could have been in today was probably Bitcoin, BNB, or DOT, just based on this list here. So same goes for Litecoin. I mean, Litecoin, or I guess I'll look at FUSD real quick. I mean, that kind of ruins the chart, doesn't it? So I got a lot of shit going on here, don't I? Delete this, this, and this. Let's just delete everything. This looks like Bitcoin did before the breakout, does it not? Like, does this not kind of remind you of like this? Kind of reminds me of this here, but just without that last leg. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but this looks kind of similar. Right? Like, this is just like this vertical, what we're seeing keep happening, right? Is ascending triangles or whatever ascending wedges that normally break down, they're all breaking up. So I do think Ethereum does gun for 2K, maybe even this weekend. But it's going to be a laggard to Bitcoin itself until things change on that BTC pair. But I mean, eventually there's no upside level to draw here, right? We're in price discovery. You can pull a fib. You can say, okay, we're going to do a 1-to-1 extension, right? So this fib extension is just this wave stacked on top of itself. Gives you that 1-to-1, right? Another thing you could do is like a 50% extension. So you put the 50% fib here. Okay, that gives you the same thing, but it also gives you now this would be a 2-to-1 extension, right? So you can do that kind of stuff. I'm much more interested in looking at the Ethereum BTC chart. So if I'm in an F long from down here, let's say, and I bought spot Ethereum, right? Once this chart trades up into here, once it trades up into here, I'm taking profit off of the table and I'm rotating back because to me, this is a key area here, this kind of 0.055. So that's how you can do profit taking and price discovery. Don't worry so much about this pair, right? Take profit when this pair is at resistance. So if this thing breaks up, you want to be taking profit on some of your F longs into here. Do I think it goes higher? Yes. Eventually, I think we go up to here, but it's not going to happen in a straight line, right? It's going to be more of an up and down. And so this can be an area in time where you want to take profit on these F USD longs, because for me, I don't personally use fibs for price, predictions. I know some people that do it very well. I'm much more interested in saying, okay, where is the BTC pair into resistance? Or if we're trading Bitcoin where we don't even have, a BTC pair to look at, obviously, you can trail your stops, right? You do it based on market structure. Like if I'm in Bitcoin longs from anywhere kind of in this consolidation here, right? I don't want to lose these lows, right? If we lose these lows, I think we trade back into this range and we get fucked, right? So you could have your stop, take some profit off the table. We had a 8-9% day, and have your stop up here. You could even be more aggressive. You can zoom in. What's going on here? Get out of the way. You can zoom in and have your stop even tighter, right? You can say, okay, I don't want to see us come back below, here. So if you're in longs from down here, you've taken some money off the table. Now your invalidation is in profit, right? And if this makes another leg higher, now your stop can come up here, right? And that's how you can ride this thing. You don't know how high it's going to go, but you're locking in gains along the way by trailing your stop up, right? Makes another leg higher. Now your invalidation goes here, right? So that's a way that you can ride these kind of moves. Like if you're long Bitcoin and you woke up today and you're up, like, and you're like, well, where do I take profit? Sure, you could target 60K, right? Just using a random big figure. I'm much more interested in managing my trade like this. I would rather trail my stop up with market structure. And that's all time frame dependent, right? Like on the daily, this uptrend is not wrong, or like this up move is not done until we lose this, right? The problem is this is far away. 50,000, 51 to 52,000 is, $3,000-$4,000 away from current price. But on the daily, right, we're still right until we lose that level. So depending on the time frame that you're in your trades, the H4 is kind of similar. You really got to go low time frame. The hourly wouldn't want to see it come below here, right? Arguably, if we close this next hourly okay, you could trail your stop right up to here. Say, okay, I don't want to lose this hourly demand. As long as we stay above here, I'm staying in my longs, right? So couple different ways that you can kind of trade these things where there's no specific price levels to look at. That's why it's a lot easier to trade earlier in the bull run, in my opinion, because you have all of these predefined levels where it's like, once we flipped like 10K or whatever, it's just like you just get omega long. Like once we flipped all these levels on the way up, those are just signals to get long. And then you have predefined profit taking objectives, based on previous price history, right? So you had like, maybe you take profit there, maybe you took a little profit here, and then you had very clear areas where it's like, okay, once we're through here, next target is up here. You don't have that anymore. So you got to be a little bit more dynamic in how you manage your positions. Like looking at the 3-day chart, there's literally no 3-day demand or support until like way the fuck down here. Do I think we come here? No. But if you're in a long, you don't want to hold it all the way back down. So you're going to need to dial in and say, okay, on what time frame do I have some sort of SR level that I can work with, saying, okay, below here, my long idea is wrong, and I think we're going to go lower. So what kind of charts do you guys want to fucking see? I'm just kind of rambling at this point. It's typically what I do.
There were a couple good questions. I'm trying to find them really quick. One of them, Neon, he said if we want to long and hold with leverage, how do we do that without getting destroyed by funding? You could trade the like March or whatever futures contract. So at least on FTX, I know there's a March and a June futures contract that you can trade. And they don't have funding, but you just have to be careful if you're trying to market into your trade. I don't know what size you're trading, but sometimes there's a bit less liquidity on those.
I got a comment on that because I'm not some fucking absolute monster whale like Flood is or something, but I trade with pretty good size. You have to be very careful
Yeah.
trading on FTX, on perps, and on futures on altcoins. The books can be very, very illiquid. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I've got $1 million position open. That's insanity. Even with a $50,000 or $100,000 position open on some altcoin, you might be looking at the book and be like, oh, I'm fine. There's all of this, it says I'm in profit $1,000. It's like, well, that's just based on the mark price. If you go look at the book, for you to close out $50,000 worth, price might drop 2 or 3%, right, or more, and you can get slipped pretty hard. Altcoins are so volatile right now. You do not need fucking leverage. Altcoins themselves are leveraged Bitcoin positions. They're derivatives, right, of Bitcoin. So they are higher beta plays, meaning they're more volatile. There's more risk involved on both the upside and the downside, right? When Bitcoin pumps, alts are going to pump harder. When Bitcoin dumps, alts are going to dump harder. So you got to be very careful when you're fucking around with altcoins with leverage, because you can get trapped in some of these books and be like, holy shit, like I was in a trade and I'm still in it on banned USD. I took a trade on the perps. I closed out a bunch of it in profit yesterday, thank goodness. But like there was a point where I was in this trade and I'm like, for me to get out, like the price was going to drop like $4. And on a $17 coin, that's a lot. Right. So I was trapped for a little while. And you got to just be smart when you're playing on those perp contracts, on those futures contracts, because of slippage, because of the illiquidity of the books, depending on how big you're trading. And each of them has their own risks. The funding on altcoin perps, on FTX, and on all the websites, funding on everything has been absurd. Right. So like, if you're in a 100K position, you might be paying 30, $40 an hour in funding. That adds up. That's hundreds of dollars a day, right? So something to keep in mind. And then with the futures contracts, right, you have the time risk, right, of the contract expiry. And as that kind of, I guess it would be theta, is that date is coming closer, you have that, expiration risk. So there's no way to really avoid. Everything's got some sort of risk, whether it's funding, whether it's the futures date. But you need to probably just focus on spot, especially if you're really new. I would say just play spot. There's enough volatility with these altcoins. They're going 5, 10, 20x in like a month or two. You don't need leverage to trade something that is that volatile. I think leverage trading makes the most sense for when you're trading large size and you're primarily trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. And even then, right, like, I know Rookie, who's a homie, posted like a crazy, Ethereum long today. He paid a lion's share in funding on that trade, right? So it's something you've got to keep in mind when you're being like, how profitable am I actually on this leverage trading? It's less than you think because of funding. So my advice would be, and this is not advice, obviously, of the financial variety, is stick to spot.
This is just your opinion.
This is just my opinion, exactly.
That's right. But yeah, no, there's a reason funding's high, and it's, I mean, a bunch of people are long, but it's like that's the cost of doing business right now, and those risks are lower to me than trying to trade the futures contract. So yeah, I think the main takeaway is just be careful if you are trading the futures contract, because there are, well, I guess technically the perp is a futures contract too, but it's a perpetual future contract. It doesn't have an expiry. But anyway, I see a lot of atoms in the chat. I can look at it, or you can. I'm not like the
I'll
coin.
do a quick. I'll do a quick sushi, Adam. I'll do XRP, and then I'll pass it back to you. Oh, I'll do Litecoin too, and then
Okay,
I'll pass it back to you.
and then sounds good. All right.
This guy says, "What's the difference between margin trading and futures on Binance?" Well, futures are a form of margin trading. Um, how did you two get to know each other? Gosh,
BTG.
yeah. So I used to have a Discord.
I was one of Maine's
Uh,
kids.
yeah, years ago. It's crazy. It was in I started it in 2018.
Yeah.
Um, And yeah, Kaz was one of the guys who joined my Discord back then and got to know each other. And he had a meteoric rise in terms of how quickly he was learning. So we made him a mod. And yeah, the rest is history. We've been buddies ever since. Um,
Maine helped me learn the ICT concepts without ever listening to ICT
yeah, a
once.
lot of what you see on Twitter today, like ranges, order blocks, that kind of shit. I didn't invent that by any means. I learned that from ICT. I learned that from TraderSZ, who was in the chat here. He is the OG of ranges. Anyone you see using ranges, learn from him.
Yeah, he's
100%
the
sure,
goat.
or learn from someone who learned from him, like me. And yeah, now you see a ton of people using price action, which is awesome. I mean, when I first started on Twitter, no one was using price action. Everyone was using RSI and um, all sorts of indicators, MACD, and which there's nothing wrong with. It's just like it's amazing how many more people trade price action now. It's very cool, and I much prefer it because now I can understand other people's charts. Um, Yeah, that's why tons of people are getting liquidated. A bunch of apes are long on margin. Damn, this God voice. You feel me, guys? Okay. Um, Even on Binance FUTs, 25K positions on some pairs are hard to close. Exactly. So imagine getting trapped with like $100,000 altcoin position. You do not want to be in that hot seat. How do you get over the break-even period while trading on leverage? Not really profitable, but not losing money either. Just time, bro. It takes time to get good. If you're breaking even, that's better than losing money. But I would just say stay consistent, continue to refine your edge, make sure you're journaling, right? Like if you're at that precipice of profitability, there's going to be certain things that you can tweak and you can refine, to kind of get you over the hump. And I'm sure there's things that you're consistently doing on your losses that you need to first identify and then you can fix. So make sure you're journaling and collecting data so then you can actually have actionable information to make changes and to improve. But breaking
Yeah.
even is nothing to slow chat, man. That means you're
That's
close.
yeah, that's the one thing I would add, and I kind of rant about that in almost every one of my streams. But journaling really can help you get over the hump. Not only journaling what trades you take, but you can see like which setups of yours do the best. You can see which like what emotions, what errors you're running into. If it's like, oh, I closed this early, note that down. Note down why you did, stuff like that. So journaling, definitely agree with Maine there. That can definitely help you take your name or take your trading to the next level.
Yeah, we're not quite Eskimo brothers, not yet. Swift Khan says, "How's your voice so sexy?" I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, I
Maybe I got
got
a voice.
a.
I got a face made for radio. That's what
You really do.
my my dad always used to say to me, which I don't think is very good. I think that's mean. Guys sharing quality content. Thanks, Radislav. Trader Christian says ICT stands for I can't trade. Trader Tristan was one of the breaker boys. So we all know where he learned half of that shit from anyways. How do you rate Credible Crypto? I like Credible Crypto. I got nothing against him. I don't personally use Elliott Waves, but I know guys like him and Benjamin Blunt, smart contractor, use them very well. Trader SZ. Yeah, SZ.
There's a why is Trader Coz's voice so beautiful from Nathaniel. So we both have beautiful voices, man.
There you go. We should start a podcast. Okay. So let's look at what was the coins. We'll look
Yeah,
at sushi.
you said you
I
would
think
do.
sushi looks at like dog shit, to be honest with you.
You said you would do sushi, Atom, and Litecoin. I think.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the one concern I have with a lot of these DeFi coins right now, right? Is this shit topping? That's the question you need to ask yourself right now, right? So we had that kind of summer DeFi run here, right? Where we had the run, then a huge unwind in DeFi positions. Obviously, this run has dwarfed that. This is the most topped. I'm not saying it's topped yet, but this is the most topped that this DeFi perp has looked. And so I don't know exactly what makes up this index, but it's a basket of DeFi alts. It has a lot of the major ones like Sushi and Link, etc. So this is something that you want to pay attention to, right? If this thing has topped, right, you're going to see a lot of the DeFi altcoins shit the bed. So this thing isn't down that much today, but Sushi is down 10%. But that means that there's other assets within this basket that are doing okay, and there's some that are doing really shitty. You want to watch this. This is kind of a thing I'm watching. Are we potentially putting in a little bit of a swing high here? And this is kind of your neckline, whatever the fuck you want to call it. If we lose this demand here, I think we're going to trade down here. And if this thing takes a haircut of 20 plus percent, depending where you want to draw the percentage thing from, that's going to mean a lot of DeFi altcoins are going to eat shit. And so if you look at Sushi, we're coming into a critical test right here. I mean, we have, our listing, whatever. What's our relevant PA? Well, it's here for me, right? You definitely don't want to lose this area, in my opinion. If we lose in this area, we're going down to this level here. So zoom in a little bit more. We are this doesn't look great. Like, to me, this looks like, this is kind of a breaker play here, right? So this is the down candle, caused the up move. We broke down below it, retested it, and sold off. This is the exact setup that was the top on Bitcoin in 2017, right? So if you look at Bitcoin 2017 on the daily, the exact same setup effectively right here, right? So the down move caused the up move, got back below, retested, sold off. This is something you want to watch on Sushi here. I think you want to be a little bit careful. It's down quite a bit and it's coming into support, right? So I do think there's support here. You could argue this is, kind of 3-day demand. Absolutely want to fucking hold here. If this pair does not hold here, I think that's really bad. And I think Sushi is going to go retest like, $10, $11. So I wouldn't be surprised if this gives you a bounce at the very least. I don't think we just nuke through this. I think what's more likely is we see a bounce up into this level, and then that's kind of your decision point, right? A rejection, and we're trading down into here of reclaim, and this was just a deviation, right? And this becomes, a higher low, and then we take out this high. So this is going to be a very interesting next week, I would say, for a lot of these DeFi coins, because a lot of them look very similar. So want to hold here, absolutely. Want to reclaim this zone here, right? So we're going to come up here, and then that's going to be the decision point, down or up. So I'm not personally holding any of these coins, so I don't really have any skin in the game. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I don't know what Sushi Coin does. I don't know what most of these DeFi coins do. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some catalyst and this thing can't go down. But I mean, this thing has had a crazy run. This is just since November. Okay. 1,200%. So some sort of pullback is not out of the question whatsoever. The question is, how deep is that? So right into the demand that I've marked puts us at about a 50% pullback. That lower demand that I had talked about, there's your kind of 0.618 pullback right in there. So those are going to be the two areas of interest for me, or I guess three areas is, right here, do we find support? I hope we do. And then where does the bounce go? Do we just make bearish retest and head lower, or is this a deviation and we continue this crazy DeFi bull run? So looking at this, then you go look at Sushi itself, and you can see, I'll look at it on here. Obviously, this thing is eating shit today. So looking at the daily here, does not look super good. This looks like, big swing failure pattern on the daily there. And then, obviously pretty harsh sell-off going on right now, already down 11% on the day. We're going to want to hold here. Absolutely. If we do not, I think, probably I'm putting bids at like fucking $10 on Sushi. Like this is where I'm looking to, potentially buy. This is an untested level. We've got some lows here, haven't been swept. So if we get some sort of move down here, this is something I'd look to long on like a first touch or some sort of, reclaim. And then this is where you take profit, right? There's no guarantee that this is the low. It could do this, right? So you take profit back into resistance, and then you can add back on a flip of this. So again, I wouldn't short this here. You missed the short. The short was a few days ago. We are coming into support, but really want to see this USD pair find support and that BTC pair find support as well. The Breaker Gang. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. What else? What was I supposed to chart next?
Atom, I think. And I think Atom and Litecoin were the other two you wanted to look at.
Okay. Let's do Litecoin first. So the Litecoin Bitcoin pair. I have all these FTX fucking charts.
Looks pretty choppy.
Yeah. So this thing is not bottom like FUSD is bottom to me, right? So FUSD on like even the monthly looks like this, right? And on the weekly, it looks like this, right? So within weekly uptrend, right, you're gonna have an up and a down. Sorry, within a monthly green candle, you're gonna have an up and a down on the weekly. Within a weekly green candle, you're gonna have this on the daily, right? So market structure is gonna start shifting on the lower time frame first. And then it will start shifting on the higher time frame, assuming that the lower time frame, puts in bullish market structure and continues. So the way I've broken down Litecoin here, we have this monthly block that essentially was the origination of this entire move up in 2017, 2018, and completely untouched. And then we just have this very slow bleed into the level, right? So this to me is like a big falling wedge right into monthly demand. So this is an area where I want to get bullish. There's no reason to be bullish on Litecoin here. We're trading into nothing, right? But now we finally come in, to demand. It's been a few months. This is the monthly chart. It takes time, but we finally come into demand. Okay, now is when I want to start looking for potential regions to be bullish, right? So looking just on the monthly, we set this monthly low here in November, and you can see this last month here, we swept that low and we're closing pretty strong. Barring some sort of horrendous, close here, this is a decent monthly candle to me because it's going to close green. It's going to, have retraced most of the body of this candle here. And we've had a nice, swing failure pattern, kind of equal lows on the monthly here. And we're, still within this downtrend line. No bullish market structure on the weekly or the monthly yet. This is still bearish, right? But we're looking for reasons to be bullish, and they're going to appear on the low time frame first. Monthly demand, I'm looking for bullishness in here. There's your first signal, is that sweep. Now you go down to the weekly, a little bit more constructive. Nothing quite yet that's like screaming bullish. This is still a downtrend on the weekly, right? What is starting to look bullish? Well, we're in that monthly demand. We had a nice SFP and we had a bullish engulfing weekly candle here. So we basically engulfed these last 2 bearish weeks right here, right? So again, not bullish on the weekly yet, but it's starting to build potential bullishness. And what you'll see is we go to lower time frames, they're going to get more bullish as we go. And we're attempting to reclaim this level here, right? So we kind of have a level right here that we've closed through. We've engulfed these 2 down weeks. We have that swing failure pattern, again, starting to get a little more bullish. The 3-day first chart that actually has a bullish market structure shift. Now you have to be careful because this could still do this, but it's a sign that potentially we might be turning around. Still too early to tell, but this is where I'm starting to get interested, right? So we have a break in market structure right here to the upside. So now we have a low and a higher high here. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for a higher low. Go to the daily, and this is kind of the most interesting time frame for me right now. Within that monthly demand, right? There's your SFP. Here is the breaker that caused that swing failure pattern. We've now reclaimed that level. We've got a low, a high, and now what I'm looking for is in this area, a higher low to form. We've got a bullish break in market structure. So now what I want to see is bullish price action continue. And what would be the kind of signal that I'm right and that the bullish price action is going to continue and start translating onto the higher time frames is going to be a break through this level. So once we break through this level, I think that will be, a good signal that this thing is going to start, outperforming Bitcoin significantly for a period of time and really start going on a run. So I want to see a higher low form here on the daily. It has not happened yet. On the H4, we're low, high, higher, low, higher, high, kind of consolidating here below this level, right? So I need to see continuation before I'm sure that this thing is bottomed. And so if you mark this level out and then you zoom out to the 3-day, to the weekly, right, you can see that this is going to be your market structure level on the higher time frame that needs to break for us to, confirm bullishness. So need to see this break now. We've got a low, we've got a high, we've got this breaker that took out a monthly low here. So to me, this is a high probability area for a higher low to form, right? And I'll just delete all these lines so it's a little less confusing. You pull your fib, look what lines up almost perfectly with the breaker itself, and you have demand in here, right? This is where I want Litecoin to form a higher low. Is that higher low in already? Maybe, or do we have one more little dip here before we go? But either way, this is, kind of an area where I'm bullish on Litecoin to put in a higher low. And if it can take out here, that's when I think things get really exciting. So that's kind of some top-down analysis for you really quick, just showing you how market structure shifts on the low time frame first. And then it builds into higher time frame bullish market structure, right? From monthly all the way down to the daily with clear execution levels. So then you look at LTC USD, you say, okay, when is this thing gonna fucking go? Well, I think this looks pretty good, right? Like this is you compare this to Ethereum, right? And the main difference is Ethereum's weekly chart looks like this, right? It's way up above previous all-time high. Litecoin has failed to do that yet, but to me, this looks pretty good, right? We had a very clear SR flip happen here. This is why it's easier to trade before we're in price discovery. Once we close through here, like you just buy this. And then we're coming up into, a resistance area. We're into it right now, right? I know this is a huge zone. You can break it down into levels, right? So you can mark the open, the EQ, and the close to make it not just look like a big ass box.
And that previous high lines up really well with the middle of it.
Exactly. I would not be surprised if I pull the EQ from here to here, throw the EQ, basically that high right there. So this is going to be kind of your area of interest for Litecoin. I don't really want to see us trade back below 225 on a closing basis on the weekly, we can have daily candles go through here. We can have H4 candles go through here. But the weekly, I want to see tomorrow or Sunday, 2 days from now, I want to see the weekly close above here, right? If that happens, in my mind, we are going to this level next. So this could be a range here. We could have some chop, but the weekly, I want to see a close above 225. You zoom in, perfectly lines up with a bullish order block here, right? So this is kind of my demand that I want to hold. I don't want to see Litecoin trade below this gray daily demand. So as long as we're holding above here, and it looks pretty good right now, right? We broke above, we retested. It looks like we want to leg up. Like it looks like it wants to push higher. This looks okay to me. So this is going to be kind of my next level of interest. I would even round this number off just to 250, right? Just big figure. Above 250, you target 270. And above 270, I think we target 300, basically here, right? So pretty clear levels to base your trades from, in my opinion, right? As long as the weekly's closing above 225, I'm happy. As long as we're keeping the daily above this gray block, I'm happy. And I think it's just a matter of time until we're, trading up into this level here. It's not going to be a straight line. There's going to be moves up, moves down, moves up, moves down. But these are pretty clear levels, right? Close through here on the daily, we will trade into here. Okay. Close the weekly above here, we will trade into here. So it's just a matter of what you do in between. If you're holding spot, you're chilling unless we lose this. If you're looking to day trade this thing, well, you got to zoom in and you got to find a setup, right? So like we're, maybe putting in an SFP here on the H4. Like what's a setup that you can take? I don't know. Maybe we get some sort of, sweep here, right? We've got a low here. Maybe we get some sort of sweep and a reclaim. That would be like a long with your stop here targeting this, right? So from a day trading perspective, you can, make your setups around these levels. From a spot trading perspective, you're just chilling, man. As long as we're holding here, I think you're just chilling.
Agreed. That analysis has my stamp of approval.
I'll pass it back to you, bro.
All right. Move that. Hey, Ethereum's moving a little bit. No, not really. Couple bucks. All right. What else do you guys want to see? I think someone was talking about Atom earlier. Let me find that. All right, so I laid out these scenarios on a different stream a little while back, and we're still kind of waiting for the same thing. It dipped down, but didn't quite tag this low. So still looking for that range low to get hit, or if we manage to break above the mid-range, you can look for some longs up to the range high. Confirmation of a breakout will be a break above that. So pretty simple TA on Atom. Not a whole lot else to say. I'm probably gonna try and do some of these quick so we can crank through some of your guys' requests. ADA. A bunch of these coins look exactly like what we were talking about yesterday, where they're kind of just in the middle of where they've been consolidating. They went on a huge run, had this dip, and now they're kind of bouncing / consolidating around. And honestly, like, they look bullish, but there's just nothing here that can trigger a trade setup for me. So when you guys are asking, I don't know if you're looking for a trade setup, or you just hold a bunch of it and want to know like if I think it's going up or not, or what. So maybe when you guys ask for a chart request, you can throw in a time frame or something like that. But I think ADA, like, it's obviously super bullish. Here, I can go somewhere else with more history. Oh, that was okay. Here we go. Coming up to some resistance, monthly resistance. You can see, or sorry, weekly. So maybe a flip of that. You can look to get back in if that is what you're looking for. That looks odd. Why do the wicks look like they go through right there? But then here, we didn't. Anyway, whatever the case, get above that level, and I think ADA will be ready for the next leg up. Link.
I want you to actually chart one of my bags.
All right, let's see it.
And anyone listening, market buy immediately. Help me exit in a profit. Banned. So look at the BTC pair first. Banned BTC.
All right.
And then look at the USD pair and let me know what you think.
All right. All right, all right, all right.
So this is for the FA people, which I don't know. Like, I'm not an FA person by any means, but
yeah, give them.
it's an oracle, so it's similar to Link. Someone's told me it's like a better version of Link. I don't know what Link does. I don't know what an oracle does outside of the company or the lady from the Matrix movie. But I've been told that it is a required thing for DeFi, so it kind of fits in that DeFi basket, I guess. But yeah, there you go. So I actually think that the BTC chart looks okay. It is into resistance, but I think as you get to the lower time frame, to me it looks like kind of bullish, and I think the USD pair looks okay as well. But this coin, guys, where we were talking about liquidity issues before, I opened way too big of a position on perps. I should have just went in with spot, and I basically, like, for a while, I'm in profit now, but like for a while when I was in drawdown, I was like, if I wanted to exit here, I would be slipped like 10+%. So you want to be careful.
Right. So the first couple things that stand out to me, this is really nice monthly demand. We wicked into that with some really strong buyback. I don't know if this was you selling your position, and that's why it. That's why it.
No, that's what the chart would have looked like if I exited at the bottom.
Right. And then the next two, I guess, key areas that jump out at me. I think this was from looking at the weekly. Bottom of that weekly candle, we haven't really been able to close back above it after dumping through and then zooming in a little more. I think this is definitely what's capping price. We've seen it reject here 4 times now. So get above that. I think the BTC pair would be looking super bullish, but this looks better than a lot of other BTC pairs out there.
It looked very similar to Link BTC. Like, if you look at Link BTC, it looks kind of similar. Big market cycle, and the question is, like, is this a lower high, or are we gonna flip that level and continue to rip?
I really do like this level on Link. We can. I was wrong on the initial dump; it dumped right through, but now that it's holding it really well. But let me look at the USD pair. I don't know where there's a lot of history. Where do you chart it? Like USDT on Binance, or?
Yeah, USDT.
Yeah, I mean this. It doesn't get that's an ugly color. Doesn't get much better than that in terms of a high time frame SR flip. Right, I mean, weekly resistance right there. Broke above it, retested it. Now we're just consolidating above it. I would hang on to it. I mean, I know it'd be tough for you to like exit all of it right now, but big picture, high time frame, this absolutely looks bullish to me.
Yeah, so you guys who want to buy, set some low bids. I'll market dump, and you guys can all
yeah well, you'll push the whole thing down to like $12 and we'll all get filled. Let's see, what else do we got? Well, someone actually said Link BTC, it looks like, and I'm bullish on this as long as it can hold above this level right here. But zooming in a little bit, we can probably refine what it needs to do. I kind of like this range right here. You can see more or less the mid-range was support here, resistance a bunch of times, rejected from here again, had this deviation from it, as the legend SZ calls it, and now holding the range low as support. If this can push back above here and actually hold above it, I think it'll be looking good. And then bigger picture, once it, like maybe it ranges for a bit longer, but once it breaks above the range high right there, this should be good to rip up quite a bit. But not a bad looking chart. Like the overall structure is still super bullish. The weekly chart looks super bullish. I don't think this was a like blow off top before it nukes, but yeah, I think it looks pretty bullish. And then Link USD, whatever you want to call it, I have a plan for this setup. Kind of starting to look good. I've been using 2 computers, and so it messes up my TradingView drawings. I thought they fixed that a while ago, but I guess not. So we got this high, this original high from this pump that it consolidated for a little bit and then swept it. That's kind of the SR level I'm working with here. We tagged it here a couple times and then formed Monday's range. It was a huge one, but it is what it is, and I think a breakout confirmation play would be above here. I probably want to see it push up a bit more. I think you can define your risk with this low right there because it was right into this SR level and it also swept this guy. And so wouldn't want to see it come back down there, but I don't really want to enter this right now after or right before / after the daily close and the new daily open. So what I would be looking for here, if it can push up more, this will turn into hourly demand and then something like that. Retest of Monday's high, SR, hourly demand right laid over that level. I think that would be a nice setup. You got your risk defined right there, and probably target like $40 or use the Link BTC pair for some targets. But I think this would be a pretty nice trade. But yeah, don't want to enter it yet because it still could just get rejected right here and go down for another leg. If it does, I like the weekly open and this SR right here as a possible place to enter, and for there, invalidation would probably be at 31.2 for me. But yeah, I'd want to see this push up, confirm that we've broken through this resistance and not actually just retested it, and then I would want to see a retrace to that SR Monday's high. A lot of nice confluence around that level. Okay, I guess I could have left that on there, but I'll draw it up, something like that. And if it does something like this, this could be your like extra confirmation to add another position on or whatever you need to do. Let me just look at what these guys are doing. Please, Ethereum, hold here and push up. Okay, what else do we got? There's a lot of coins I've like never really heard of. I don't really trade a ton of small caps. I don't know about you, Maine, but I mostly stick to some of the bigger ones. I could look at Aave.
I have no luck with the little shit, but that's also probably reasons why I haven't caught any of these crazy fucking punts. 'Cause I'm focused on Ethereum just being a shit coin.
Right, me too. I've looked at this one in some other streams, and it's a little range we got on Aave, or I don't know how other people pronounce this, but we kind of took this low, but just barely, and we weren't able to break back above the mid-range. Like a bunch of other coins that kind of look like this, the true confirmation would be if we get above this high, but I'm pretty sure Aave is DeFi, isn't it? So
yeah, it is.
I'm kind of in a wait and see with DeFi. I mean, I'd like to see them bounce from here. This hasn't been getting hit as badly as Sushi has, but the true confirmation would be above that range high, but we do have some demand down here, and it doesn't need to be just in a wick, but if this kind of grinds down lower and then bounces from there, reclaiming these two equal lows would be a nice setup, and then invalidation would be below that. Let me see if there's any other. I mean, the higher time frame level would be this daily demand there, which is like the origin of this whole move up. But I guess a way to simplify this idea would be if this, breaks below this range, reclaims those equal lows, which is also acting as our range low, then I think it's a nice long opportunity. Bitcoin's about to break 56K. It might. This is one heck of a daily candle. Like, that looks super bullish to me. We'll see what happens if we get a Asia sell-off or whatever. I think that's kind of just turned into a meme now, because I don't think we've actually been dropping at every Asia session recently.
Yeah, it's definitely changed over the last couple of weeks.
Like, this one, we kind of bled off a little. Here, I would say it went up. Here, went up. Here, went up. Dumped here. Went up here. Little bounce there. So I don't think the Asia sell-off is the same as... It's like, once people started talking about it and saying every day during the Asian session we're going to sell off, it kind of... Like, once people caught on that was happening, it kind of stopped happening. It's kind of the way it goes, though. Serum is about to move up. Let's see. I'm so mad about this. Look at that. What a bummer. I talked about this one on stream yesterday. I set bids on my other monitor while we were talking about this and wanted it to like, this is a... If Trader Tristan is still here, this is your textbook breaker. We had these lows right here. Last 4-hour up move, swept these lows, broke right above it, didn't provide any resistance on the move up. And I was looking for a retrace right into it, and it already would have hit target. I mean, it's gone straight up since then. So that's a bummer. That was my serum plan. I guess in hindsight, it was kind of holding the range low, but it is what it is. On to the next. It was a good plan. Sometimes it won't trigger. I think this was some high time frame. Yeah, that was that old high. So it really reclaimed that range low and that level nicely, and then just pumped from there. If it pulls back, I think this mid range has been pretty pivotal between like 405 and then 4.2, somewhere in there. But who knows? This thing might be gone. But yeah, that's a shame that it front ran by like 10 cents. Vegas is closed, so gamblers are pumping into crypto. Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. They'll keep buying our bags. They'll keep buying Band from Maine.
Anyone can buy Band.
Yeah.
It's available to everyone.
Yes, please. Coin. Please, everybody.
Great coin.
That was a nice Monday's range. Dude, Rune is kind of like up-only mode. I don't even know what Rune does, but this has been such a bullish. I feel like it doesn't get enough love. Rune BTC is right on some daily support, too. Great content. What coin are you most bullish on short term? Bitcoin. Main thoughts?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm bullish on Litecoin. I am bullish on Ethereum, but like, you know, my main bag is always going to be Bitcoin.
Yeah. Especially
so
like. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like, you know, a lot of the shit that's pumping right now, like, is gonna, you know, fully retrace. So, and so will Bitcoin. I mean, once Bitcoin tops, you know, every time it pulls back about 80%. So, you know, I just don't want to get caught holding some fucking bag.
Yeah.
For God knows how long, right? Bitcoin's a little bit more predictable in its cycles at the very least. Like, I trade to get more dollars than to get more Bitcoin, nothing else.
Yep. I like it. Are trusted tokens like TUSD, TGBP safe? Question mark. Also, what's the difference between USDC and TUSD? It's a good question.
I don't know a lot about the trust tokens, to be honest with you, but the USDC and USDT are just different forms of tethered based blockchain. USDC, I believe, is like by Circle, US dollar coin. TUSD is like True USD, and then USDT is Tether.
Is
But if
USDC
that's what
Coinbase's one? Don't they
No,
have?
USDC is by a company called Circle.
Oh,
And I don't know who Trust USD is. Maybe that's Utrust, maybe. Like, are they trusted? I don't know. Like, are they safe? I mean, I use Tether all the time when I'm not sitting in a crypto and I want to hedge instead of shorting. Sometimes I'll just move to Tether. So I don't buy into the whole Tether conspiracy, and that my Tether is going to be devalued at one point and I'm going to be fucked.
yeah,
At least I hope not. So I mean,
yeah,
I use them. I think they're pretty safe, but again, I have no deep technical understanding of them or anything like that.
right. ASEB or ASEB says, can you go deeper on your distrust in DeFi? It's not distrust in DeFi. I think DeFi, a lot of those coins are super interesting, but Maine was charting DeFi perp earlier, which I have right here, and it just kind of looks like it might be either consolidating for a bit or getting ready to pull back. Sushi looks a little suspect. So, yeah, that never triggered, unfortunately. So it's not necessarily distrust in DeFi. It's more just the charts, the DeFi coins move together, and they just haven't been looking great recently. Do you guys have any NFTs? I don't. I still don't even understand them.
Yeah, I don't have NFTs. I did just learn about those crypto punk things, and I'm now realizing that those little 8-bit character digit things are actually like a huge flex. Like the cheapest one I think is $15,000. So I mean, if you have they have those little things in their profile picture, that's a flex. That's like wearing a nice watch, I guess. What's this guy say? Is Tether a crypto? I guess, yeah. It's an Ethereum based currency, right? It's an ERC20 token.
Just meant to track the dollar.
Prediction for the bull run top, I think it's like 70 or 80K, and if it doesn't top there, I think that's like over 150K. I think there's like no in between. I think like we're either really close, or it's like we're like halfway. Or a third of the way, I guess. So
is 70 to 80 kind of your cycle top, or just where we get another like 30% pullback?
Yeah, I don't know yet, I guess.
Okay.
Like, just with all the stuff that's happening with like Elon and shit, like I find it so hard to not think that we just go absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I posted this on Twitter a little while back. I kind of think we top out at like 250, 300, and I still kind of think we're right around where the next cycle's low is going to be. But I mean, that's just based on like how high other bull runs have ran. So who knows? But it is kind of just speculation. And in the end, we play it level to level. But I do think there is a lot of upside.
Yeah, I mean, that would be insane.
That would be insane. NFTs are, what's your
we go that high, you guys will never hear from me again.
Yeah, you're done. You're checking out.
Speaking of, I do have to bounce. I got another call I got to make, guys, unfortunately, but it's been super fun. I don't know if you're stay on or whatever, but I'll have you on my stream sometime.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do it in reverse. But what can I say? Bye, band. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, listening to me rant. I'll be back with another stream on Sundays. I usually do. I'll make sure to get Cause on one of these weeks as well.
Let's do it.
And we're all gonna make it, guys. We're all gonna make it. Pretty cool to hit 100K while live on stream. So thank you to all of those of you that follow me. I appreciate it. And Cause, we'll chat soon, buddy.
Yeah,
enjoy the rest of the stream, guys.
I think I will be calling it as well. If you guys don't, I mean, I don't know if there's really anyone here that doesn't follow Maine yet, but if you don't, give him a follow on Twitter and a sub to his YouTube channel. Help us do our best to take over the cringy and crappy side of
Wouldn't you rather see more of us, less of BitBoy?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I just feel like the crypto YouTube content is so poor, and so hopefully we can make a dent into this space. So please give his channel a sub, mine as well, if you're feeling willing. And we will see you guys in the next video. But I mean, we had over 200 people in here for most of the time, so just want to say we really appreciate you guys turning in or tuning in. And I'm sorry we didn't get to every single chart request. It got a little long, but next time.
Gang. Thanks, guys.
Have a good